All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. Thanks for so much for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. If this is your first time here or just checking in again, make sure to like our videos. Hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any new videos that come out. As you know, every Friday or every weekend, usually Friday, I do a recap of our trades, recap the market. So again, that's a regular video. Turn on notifications. And of course, we're here live every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just got an alert from the terminal. Tata Steel, fourth quarter net income, 17.505 rupees. This is obviously an Indian company. So considered a hot headline by Bloomberg. So we'll just close out of that. Let's go ahead and go around the horn and get started. Dow futures down about 86 points. NASDAQ is pretty much flat, down about 5 handles. S&P down about 8, flat-ish. Russell down about 0.5% here at 1767 this morning. We also have crude oil down again another 1%, 74.95 a barrel. 252 for gasoline futures down about 1.19%. Gold futures starting to push a little higher here, 1995. Let's see if we get above 2,000. But again, that's going to be volatile with the Fed as well. 24.88 for silver futures, down about 1.37%. Copper futures, $3.87, down about 1.44%. Euro dollar, 109.57, down about 18 pips this morning. Nothing really set in terms of Forex charts. I did find one setup that I like, but again, we do have FOMC. The setup is the dollar yen. We'll take a look at that here in a second. When we go around the charts. Pound dollar 124.66, down about 29 pips. Bitcoin up about 1%, 28,200. Ethereum 1837, up about 1% this morning. Yesterday the market was down about 0.04% on the SPX, according to my notes. Since it doesn't show here, it's reset. Let's go to the charts here. Here's the monthly candle chart. Again, this is a very, very big time frame, as we could tell. But again, I can zoom this out a little bit more. But I zoomed in really from since 2021. So about a 2-year period, monthly candles. Let's take a look at it. Look at that purple line. We're right at the 20-month moving average. Last time we got to this level, we're pretty close to it. We rejected back in April, and then we rejected it back in February. We also peaked above it last August. We also peaked above it last May. Would we get to that same situation where we break out of this 20 MA? Again, that remains to be seen. FOMC and Apple earnings are very, very important. But again, the 20 MA, something's got to give. Either we're going to go ahead and soar a little higher. Maybe we can get a little bit of a pop due to FOMC and reject. That's happened before. Or we just completely reject down maybe to that 4,000 area. So let's go back to the daily chart here on SPX. Again, above every major moving average. That's important. We do have a gap to fill here at 42.19. We could expect that to fill with the Fed or with the Apple earnings, since Apple is the largest part of the SPX in terms of weight. But I'll go ahead and circle this here. Here we go. There's your gap to fill that we have here, right around 42.19 on SPX spot. Let's go to the weekly chart, and you can see we're still right below that 100-week moving average with the gap to fill. So 42.19, very key level. We could wick that on Thursday if you are playing SPY at home. That level is 421.03. If you break above 419, you can expect 421.03 to at least wick, give you a chance to get out, if not to continue a little higher. Again, a very binary situation in terms of SPY. You don't want to hold SPY and it's just going to chop around until the FOMC, which is tomorrow. So again, probably best bet is just to hold off on this one. Maybe use futures instead. ES mini futures to go ahead and trade it. The only thing is that there's no gap to fill on ES, just SPX spot. But again, you still want to get above 42.07, which is the 100-week moving average. If we go to the the month charts or the month candles on ES, you can see how much I have to zoom out. We are above the 20-day moving average. So things are lining up for a little higher of a move. Obviously, we get that expectation with speculators doubling down on their net shorts. Could definitely happen. So again, that's the lowest we've seen since 2011. We'll see what we get from there in terms of the S&P 500. Let's go to dollar yen. Dollar yen was a chart that I looked at in terms of Forex. But again, with the FOMC coming up, who the hell knows, right? Good news, we're above the 200-day MA. Again, if we're looking to be long on dollar yen, that is a bullish dollar. And again, that would be higher rates. So again, maybe the dollar yen is pricing in a more hawkish Fed than expected. Again, we expect 25 basis points tomorrow. Nothing else in that. We could get a hawkish pause. Again, that's according to Bloomberg. But we want to get above 138.06, and if we do, we could target 140, if not 139, and swing that dollar yen. As long as we stay above the 200, that would probably be our stop. So we want to swing it out a little more if we're based on the daily. Based on the hourly chart, you're getting a breakout on dollar yen as well. So again, a little Forex here doesn't hurt nobody. We want to get above 138.06. Make sure to update your alerts accordingly. Apple. Apple does report. We do have a gap to fill on Apple. Keep in mind here at 171.38, that's the expectation to hit at least into earnings. We'll see what we get. And let's go ahead and see here. Uber did report earnings. Let's see it. You can see a little bit of a pullback here. Nothing crazy. 35.59, at least from the peak. 36.40. Nice hit about a dollar or two, a little higher. Where that gets us around 34. No real gaps to fill. Nothing real in terms of edge. Still need above 37.57 for Uber to see if we get a breakout. Marriott reported earnings today. Great demand, as they stated, 174. That gets you near here, 174.50. You need to get above that 175 level to maybe target 181. But Marriott has been doing pretty well. Obviously, you can see the monthly chart. Again, pretty much a steady upstream up move for Marriott hotels demands. People still traveling. People don't want to buy stuff. They want to do stuff, as we talked about. So that's where we are. I also have some DraftKings calls here. I am in the money, the 2250s. Let's look at the daily. Again, we have a nice breakout above this yellow line. We talked about this on Twitter. The expectation is right around 25. Again, I will not hold for 25. Maybe a runner for earnings on Thursday, but that's what we are seeing this morning. Meta, again, we could take a look at Meta moving a little higher. Obviously, they had their earnings. We do have a couple of gaps to fill below 236.21. There is a gap to fill, not there. That one's done, but right here, right around 212. So a long way down. Or if you break above 248, you got a gap to fill here at 289. So again, a very important pivot point for the market. Either we're going to start filling some gaps to the downside, or we're going to start filling some gaps to the upside from May and from August 2022 to around April 2022, when we were obviously a little higher. So that's where we are this morning. We had some earnings come around. No real large news that came in. Again, pretty quiet. At least NASDAQ is kind of holding up. Tesla made small increases in terms of price on their Model 3 and Model Y. I'll go ahead and retweet that. But again, any kind of news, guys, if you are interested, feel free to take a look at our Twitter page. I get the news directly, as you can see here. Let me show you guys. If I can move this over. Get the news here from Bloomberg. Again, news and research. Here is all your hot headlines. Here is all the S&P 500 headlines. Here is the global macro headlines. This is what I use mostly for Forex and stuff like that, futures. Kind of important to know what's going around the world. And of course, you have the live market blog directly from Bloomberg. So we'll see what we get this morning. Let's answer some questions. What do I think about SoFi stock? That's from Brano. SoFi pulling back. We talked about that insider, people inside the executives were buying up stock, but again, no real edge there. Now you're below the 20 MA, so again, it's probably a little more bearish. Again, the momentum indication is cooling down. Until you go to above 852, not much to touch here on SoFi. So I wouldn't. Maybe you could trade around it. Maybe you could trade some puts, if anything, if you start holding the stock in terms of SoFi, but not much to do here in terms of the stock, at least on the upside. I wouldn't even touch it here because now you're below the 20 MA on the daily. I have an MES position open because of the VIX being so low and the dollar performing well. Thoughts? I assume the MES position is to the short side, or unless you're going to long. Now, again, if you're going long, 42.07 is the break point we're looking for. Again, we could always retest here, 41.47, as that could be part of the Fed, FOMC, our JOLTS number that we're going to get earlier today. Again, that's kind of a key level, 41.50, 41.47. If we zoom out a little bit more, you can see this dotted line here. That's been kind of the holding pattern for the S&P as it just keeps retesting and retesting and retesting. Not much going on there, so we just have to wait on it. If you are short, obviously that's a hedge again against any kind of volatility. maybe you're looking that the VIX does spike and S&P does fall, and the FOMC comes a little more hawkish than expected. Let's take a look. But not a terrible trade. Again, buy insurance when you can, not when you have to. I'm not against it at all, unless we break above 42.07, and you'll know pretty quickly if you're wrong on S&P futures. But 42.08, 42.10 should be that stop, if anything, on ES. I don't hate the short. I don't hate it at all. But again, ahead of FOMC, it's a lot of, it's just some risk that I don't want to have on the board right now. Can we take a look at the Visa chart? Sure. Let's take a look at Visa. We want to get above 235, if anything. Again, that's kind of the highs from February 2022 to around November 2021. If we can break above that, that would be very nice for Visa shareholders, 235.38. That's what we're looking for on the daily. You're above the 20-day moving average, which is very, very key. And again, your high being 252 on the weekly. Again, if you're expecting a little higher, we need to get above 235.58. Visa has been performing very well, at least on the daily, but on the hourly, not so much. Again, you're below the 20, you're below the 100 1-hour moving average. Maybe you retest below 227, give you a shot to possibly buy, but I'm not really looking at it right now in terms of this is some great opportunity to buy stocks here. Again, I think this is still a trader's market, still based around news flow and the Fed and all that. That's basically all you can go by. Okay, so that's where we are this morning. Again, pretty quiet, all quiet on the Western Front. Again, pretty much of a quiet day yesterday. We're getting a little bit of a move now on the Dow, down about 100 points. But nothing to really sneeze at, nothing to get too excited about, as if you've been trading with us for years now, I mean, down 100 points it's pretty much a slow day now on the Dow, or up 100 points is pretty much a slow day. But we'll see what we get moving forward. In terms of news today, we got JOLTS job openings at 10 a.m. We'll see if that affects the market. Tomorrow at 8:15 pre-market, we'll have the private payrolls, ADP non-farm payroll. That's ISM services PMI as well. That's at 10. And then the Federal Reserve decision. Again, the expectation is 25 basis points of a raise. That's fully priced in by the Fed Fund futures traders, and the FOMC press conference at 2:30. Remember, the 2:30 press conference is key. That's where Powell actually speaks. He usually speaks for about an hour, and then we'll see how the markets react, go from there. And we'll take it day by day, hour by hour, even session by session. We'll go ahead and leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your morning. I don't have any more questions here. But again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. Let's make it a great trading Tuesday. I got a couple of positions open. Would love to get that before the day end. And we'll see if we can get that. Have a great rest of your morning. I will see you guys tomorrow for the morning note. Cheers.